basically, I will try to touch mostly on the economic, but not a pure economic, but this combination of my experience and also the one that I have foreseen this thing since 1999. Since 2000s actually. So my slide will discuss about the impact on sustainable space economic activities. Sustainability that we going to discuss here is about the market itself, and then partly the latest trend that I believe most of you know about the sustainability. So they will come across to each other, how they impact the space economy, and then what kind of you can see a lot of new ideas coming up from this discussion. Basically, I would like to say thank you so much to Dr. Fatima and UNICEF Malaysia and also UNISEC-Global for inviting me for today's presentations. Actually, I'm very, very small compared to Dr. Noilmi and then Dr. Zaimi, but I've been met them for quite some times, and then so see all those things. So let me just brief you about my experience. I have been in 1999. 1997. I was in India during a business trip there, and then I met one scientist from ISRO, and then he showed me the office. So one of it is that they have a remote sensing project, and then they started small with in the building. I think a bungalow with 3 stories, and then now they grow into a university. I think IMT in India, and then they're quite good. So I started there, and then I realized that space can make money. So that's how it came to me, and then from there onward, then I met with a few people who have been in industry, and then we work on the Spaceport Malaysia. I believe that you can see Spaceport Malaysia's iterations in the website and the Spaceport Malaysia. How we develop this Spaceport Malaysia is basically on the ecosystem, basically on to promote space. We started all this thing in the early 2000s. It's almost 10 years. And also we work together very closely with the IAAWS ataupun International Association of Advancement Space Safety. We work together in terms of offering the services to the potential tenants to this place. And after that, I've been with Space Venture, which is promoting the spaceport on the company basis. And then I was with SkyTech as a CEO. SkyTech Berhad is basically on the set up funding for a space project. And finally, I was invited to join Vanguard Space Industry. It's a 3-person, which is I'm one of the partner. And I have another one is Dr. Farhan, which he is the space engineers. And I have one, Mr. Kishan Chong, who is also he's certified CPA. So I'm quite happy with this thing because everything is covered. Basically, I'm doing the business development. So this is my past experience for the past close to 20 years. In Vanguard Space Industry, we focus on space engineering and ancillary services. Space engineering meaning that we work together with Dr. Zaimi and Dr. Fatima on scaling up 1U to 3U, and then the idea is that it's in a very early process. So we wanted to offer what we call it VSI laboratories, which is we float it in an orbit, and then from there we operate the experiment and we retrieve the data and send it back to Earth. And then towards the end, the full we're going to do the recovery parts of it. So that's why we have the 4 phases where we assist universities in terms of design experiment, and then we help them to launch to the orbit via a few parties, and then we do the operational in Malaysia, and then then towards the end, toward the 4th phase, we do the recovery and reuse back the VSI lab. That is the whole design edge as a whole. However, besides that, recently we pivot into space sustainability, where there are 2 big projects that we're hoping that could disrupt the industry. throughout Malaysia and also regional, or maybe in the future. We're working with one space agency and also about 3 university under microwave harvesting. Because inside this project, there are 2 components. Basically, one is on the space asset, another one is terrestrial assets. So this is what we microwave harvesting or ataupun radio frequency harvesting. And then another one, we just concluded our initial. We offering also a space situational awareness, which includes space debris. This is very early stage. How what we're going to do is that because the requirement is becoming more greater due to the fact that space debris is keep on coming to our place, and then and a lot of countries surrounding Malaysia is launching their own. They have their own launchers basically, so we have to protect the safety of the Malaysian, and also we try to give Malaysia at least 3 to 5 days and early alerts. So this is what Vanguard is doing right now. Okay, basically industry academia play a huge role, especially. Basically, the phenomenon that we can see is basically talent shortage. Okay, currently, as you know, currently Malaysia, they are trying to go into I'm trying to give some ideas besides space. Semiconductor is another new industry which is promoted by the government. I believe Japan and Malaysia is having this issue because they short the talent who are going to, the engineers, the technicians who are going to operate the factory is running short. Yeah. In Malaysia itself, they stated in the report saying that they require 60,000 engineers required for enable Malaysia to become a power in the semiconductor industry. And then definitely towards the end, if the satellite industry going to boom, the same impact will come to the satellite industry or the space economy as a whole. So this is what we're looking at as the talent shortage. Yeah? However, the role of industry and academia, is it going to be a solution? Yes. Technically, I view it as it is. It's one way to stop the shortage of the talents. I'm referring all those engineers, all those designers, all those technicians who are going to be involved in the space as a talent, because we need to develop these talents. It's not only that they are engineers, but they also can go into the business management, especially on the C sectors lah. Either they are CEO, CEO, Chief Financial Officer, and then the industry is spent not only for the space industry, but the other industry too. Because the reason that I observe is that the financial institution need to know more. The industry of insurance need to know more about space. They have at least the right people who can understand what our scientists, our engineers, what the industry economy require in order for them to grow. In order to constantly grow, you need more funding, because in the industry, you need 3 main material. I think it's not a big issue. Definitely manpower is a big issue currently, and then the capital in order for you to grow. So these are the important. So from my perspective is that in the role of industry academia is a solution, a strong impact. I believe this is what one of the panel was asking about SpaceX, International Space Station in orbit by 2030. I did some discussion on this thing with one engineer, one director from AWS. I was asking, can we enhance the lifespan of these space stations, and then also or can we repurpose maybe some part of component can be reused for maybe a smaller space stations, because in order for us to send to the space is very costly, but to maintain it may be slightly cheaper. But some areas that have been covered by safety reason is the ceiling you need to replace, And number two is degradation of the materials. So this is what they said to me. So this is a challenge actually for space engineers, be it space engineers, be it designers or the funders. Can they use the space sustainability, meaning that you reuse back the system versus with the new space stations? So these are the area that I like to see, because it's currently is quite new in the space economy. Okay, definitely the third is the funding issue. The funding issue is basically an issue for everyone. Is basically, especially for a startup. Role of financial institution and government is key to change this issue. Okay, my perspective on this role of financial institution and government, definitely when they give you money, they want back their money plus profit. That is normal. Whenever you do funding, whatever it is, because in order for them to pay back their principals, they need for them profit in order for them to grow. Okay, what is the government role into this thing, into this industry is that I like to refer this thing to this government issue is that towards the US government, because they have two big sectors. One is NASA, another one is what they call it Office of Space Commerce. I think you can find it in their website. There are two roles where Office of Space Commerce is basically promoting. Whenever they're promoting a project, let's say we're promoting IoT as what developed by Dr. Naomi, so they will come up with budget in order to develop constellations. So maybe towards the end, the government will have their own IoT constellation, which is they can use that constellation to provide to their student at lower cost for them to utilize the services, the data, and so on and so forth. These are the area. So the government role has to be changed. Instead of giving grants, now they have to become a project or buyers, or they're funding certain under the national initiative, and then they also give grants. So the weightage has to be differentiate between maybe 70-30 or 80-20 and so on and so forth. That all depends on the sovereignty of the government. Satellite is always is expensive. It's difficult to do, but it's government, they need this as a sovereignty effect for them to control whatever the data came in. They can do the comparison and so on and so forth. So these are the area that I can see that the government has to move into this. So so this is one angle that I'm looking at. And then in Malaysia currently, they have mentioned capital market, who is actually the regulator for the capital market in Malaysia. What they do is that currently they has approved from current numbers, I think less than 100, less than 50. So they increase to 200 companies. So we need more venture capital to per number to operate in Malaysia, be it from local develop, and then also maybe you can combine between international and local company, and then to focus on certain industry. I yet to see a specialized venture cap focus on space industry. Only I saw 1237 just now for Dr. Imi. So we need so that's why that is one reason that I wanted to see that the industry has to be really to push this thing, because I believe funding is always there, but how to be sustainable for the people who give the money, and then how the outcome of the project, that is very important. So it must be at least there's a profit, and the principal being covered. So that is a normal for a funding institution. Okay, this is what I had covered here. The role of organization, becoming the organization will buy the project from the industry. For example, which is Office of Space Commerce is doing, what they did is that they asked for the financial physical budgetary from the office, and then this project is funding is specialized for only the project space project that required. Okay. Next one. This one has been covered by Dr. Fatima just now. But what key issue is that under fiscal budget, this need to be improved. Malaysia has to be improved because this is from the Malaysian blueprint. We have to improve this. How do we improve this? Because Malaysia is 0.003% compared to Singapore, which is 0.221%. So these are the ideas why the government has to change this role, so that it can benefit the industry. So some of the successful collaborations that I came across because of one of the, directly under the European Space Agency, they call it the TRP, Technology Research Program. They define as a technology gatekeeper. Technology gatekeeper is basically where is the academia becoming an institutional where they can come up with the ideas, solutions, and they also can take part in the industry, so that towards the end they becoming the industry, the academia becoming a technology capabilities company. I believe that we can see it in a space in. So this is one area that we what is the success factors that European Space Agency has gone through. Okay, basically another area is that academia, as I mentioned just now, they can provide ideas or input via obtaining direct contract by acting as subcontractor, and then to become at the end of the terms they are transferred into capacity building. You can see these two in the Galileo concession and also UK Skynet 5. Okay, one thing that I want to touch on the UK Skynet 5. Basically, one major issue why Department of Defense in UK decided to go into the Technology Gatekeeper program is that when the project is being proposed, the specification is same towards the end when the project or the budget is being approved by certain ministry, but the technology being offered is way behind the current technologies. So that is one big issue that Department of Defense faced during Skynet 5, and what they did was they have a consortium which is led by, before that it was not Airbus. I couldn't recall the name of but they include universities and together into that programs. So now they are towards the end of the sessions, about 20 years. Now they have Skynet 5 have, if not mistaken, they have up-to-date programs, up-to-date technologies, basically. Another angle is that this is the project that been done by my team. We have participation from the private company Aerocosmos Berhad and Artec Italy. Artec Italy is basically owned by Thales France and Thales Italia, and then the local company. So they have about many engineers in the team. Their factory is close to the TASI in Torino, where they assist this company to go through the phase 1 of feasibility studies of the design of SpaceJet and its model of operation in Malaysia. This was conducted in 2015.
Mr. Jamil,
yeah.
Mr. Jamil, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you have at least 1 minute to complete
Okay,
the session?
sure.
I'm sorry.
I'll try to make it fast. Okay, basically these are the collaboration for the number 2. And basically what I wanted the engineers to do right now, or the person involved, is that upscale and do cross-discipline, either micro-credential for C-suite scientists and engineers, and then be educator and reform policies. This is what I really wanted to do. And then we're hoping that the financial institution will go and adapt some best practices from Silicon Valley, especially SPAC programs. These are the areas that I wanted to do. So to assist the current players, industry players, to gain financial. So basically, it's nothing much. Currently, for these are the on the Galileo and Skynet 5. From this perspective, private public-private partnership is the best tool to finance and run for public sectors. So these are the area, and we can see in Varda system currently this is for the re-entry and Hayabusa project, which is very good, and a lot of other things. But one angle that I wanted to say is that this is an ocean blue economic. Ocean blue economic defined is that it's open business. You create your own market, you create your own income, and then you don't compete with too many people if you go to the red ocean red economy. So there are two different things, and definitely there will be more research basic to be applied. And then currently we need to have more space law coming up for Artemis, Luna, Mars mission, space mining, because currently these are to enable sustainable economy for Malaysia, and of course it can be a regional and also can be an international. With that, I conclude my presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jamil, for the presentation.